News. Natalie Garcia, adopted name Kennedy Schroer, was found some 4 years after she's believed to have died.
The Rose Hill Police Department announced the arrest just yesterday after a month-long investigation. Today, Sean Logging taking a look at some of the gaps that could have allowed this to happen and take so long for her to be discovered. He joins us now live. Sean.
Mike, Rachel, as we told you, Christina and Joseph Schroer both arrested yesterday. Christina on charges of murder and for kidnapping, both also arrested for child abuse and other charges. The Butler County Attorney's Office will now decide formal charges. In this Rose Hill cul-de-sac, questions about what happened inside this home to Natalie Garcia, adoptive name Kennedy Schroer, have lingered for months.
A lot of emotions. People don't understand how it happened.
Rose Hill Police, along with multiple other agencies, have investigated this case the last 5 months. While Natalie's remains were found in September, it's presumed she died in 2020. She was adopted into the Schroer's family in 2019 after fostering. After a semester in kindergarten, Natalie was taken out of public school to be homeschooled in 2020. In Kansas, for homeschooling, parents and caregivers must register with the Kansas State Department of Education, but there are no bookkeeping or follow-up requirements.
We recognize the many benefits of homeschooling, but we also know that there are gaps in homeschool law that make it such that abusive caregivers can hide and escalate abuse.
Jonah Stewart is with the Coalition for Responsible Home Education, a group founded and run by homeschooled people working on reforms to ensure a quality education in a safe home. Stewart says one example is in all 50 states, caregivers can withdraw their child from school to homeschool, even with current or recent social service investigations.
The biggest trend across the cases that we look at in our HIC database is social isolation, deliberate social isolation, families kind of falling out of view.
CRHE has a database that tracks caregivers using homeschool to hide abuse, identifying nearly 500 cases and more than 200 deaths. The group also works on legislation across the country to provide protections.
We don't want the state to be, placing an undue burden on families to, prove that they're doing things right. But we think that basic contact and ensuring that some baseline provisions are in place can really ensure that kids don't fall through the cracks.
Rose Hill Police said the post-mortem report said that the cause of death was likely suffocation for Natalie, and they ruled her death as a homicide. Now, we also do know that the other children in the home with Natalie have been removed and remain wards of the state.
Sean, thank you.